All right. You're going to start on me?
I can start, I guess.
You can start. Go.
Yeah. All right. What's up, guys? I'm Howie, and this is
Al.
And welcome to Linking Slinkies. We'll get that right after a year. Look, we're just a couple of mates. I thought we were pretty funny in high school and needed an excuse to catch up now that we're old and dads with busy schedules. Look, we hope to just make one person laugh every week, but if you don't, that's fine. We are just stoked that we have an hour locked in our offices and everyone knows not to disturb us.
Exactly.
And then smash the intro music.
Yep. In here. All right. I'm going to put that in later.
What's song
just imagine. Just something royalty free that we don't have to pay for. No, I think we should make our own one. Oh, I'd love Wonder Boy. But I think we should make our own song later. But much later on when you learn to play the guitar.
Yeah. I'm learning a new song. Do you want to hear
what song? Yeah, I do.
What's My Age Again by Blink-182?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you actually going to play it?
Okay. Yeah, why not? This is special. It's a special occasion. It's our first podcast.
All right.
It's our first podcast. All right. Still can't get fingers to spread that.
She said.
That was just too easy, wasn't it? Ready?
All right.
I hope the mic can pick up the unreal shredding. That's it. Oh, there's Zoom's popping up with set up professional audio and audio settings. Is that not good enough, Zoom? Are you not happy with that?
It can probably pick up.
Have you seen that notification pop up?
No, it didn't come up on mine.
Professional audio and audio setting.
No.
All right.
It just picked up. Okay, I've never tried to play that song on guitar, but I'll tell you what, next time we record, I will look at the tab for the first time live on the podcast and I'll try and play it for the very first time and see how we go. So, first episode. First episode. What are we going to do?
I thought, look, it's called The Pilot for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we should introduce who we are.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit about what we do.
Okay.
How we became friends, see if our stories line up.
Okay.
And then I reckon how we got our name, because people are going to be linking Slinkies.
Yeah. Okay.
So we should probably take them through how we got our name, which is also our biggest fight.
Or is it though?
Depends how you edit this podcast. Right. All right, you go first.
All right. My name. I'm actually saying my name. That feels weird. I feel like I'm an AA. My name's Al, and I'm an alcoholic, but...
You're an inspiration, all of us.
Who are you? Is that like on a deep level? Like, who am I? Or just a name? I don't know. My name's Al, I guess, in this world.
Yeah, right.
I guess my name's Al.
Just middle name, last name, ABN.
Blood type.
Tax file number.
So you do know that I have two middle names. Not a lot of people know that.
What's the first 16 digits of your credit card?
Nobody knows that I have a second middle name, but you, someone else from high school, and I think maybe my mum. That's probably it.
The Catholic priest that gave it to you?
Yeah. I'm sure he really remembers me.
Oh, he remembers all of them.
That sucks so much that you didn't have to fucking do that Catholic shit. That's well, you get to watch Round the Twist in the hall while I have to go to church. We literally read the Bible while you watch Round the Twist. What's more educational?
I think it just comes down to my parents not having imaginary friends. So...
Fair enough. And who are you? Who are you?
Not that your parents are super religious anyway, so I don't know why you are. Who is religious in your family?
No one. I think my grandma sort of was, but they're not religious, but they're sort of afraid to, say there is no God. So just in case they get to heaven, they're like, well, I didn't say you weren't real. It's like they're playing the cards. It's like, well, I didn't technically say you were real, but I didn't say you weren't. So anyway, I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't see you at church. Didn't know what day it was.
Have you ever actually been to church?
Only for funerals.
So never to like a service?
No.
So all you know about like churches is like what you've seen on TV?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We have to go to church together. That would be fucking awesome.
Do you reckon we could do an episode?
Yeah. The best thing about church was like going with your mates and like trying not to laugh at shit or trying to make the other person laugh out loud. Like, you know that laughter when you can't laugh but you want to laugh? Like
till this day.
Like at a funeral?
That's future episodes. But to this day, I still cannot talk. I still cannot read out loud. I remember year 8, we had to go around the room and read, and you and let's just, for the person's privacy, I won't say their name, but I'm just going to call them like Kadam Aoka. All right, I'm just going to use that.
You should say
Broca. Sat next to me, and when it was my turn to read, I had you and him on either side of me just going penis, and I just could not finish the sentence. Now every time I read out loud, I just start laughing.
You hear my voice in your head?
Yeah, I can talk, like this is fine, but if I have to read something, I just get the giggles. Yeah.
What class was that?
I think it was history or something.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. It was really funny though. I'll give them that. That was good. I wonder how many other jokes that we've pulled on our friends at high school now they need serious therapy over. Like I haven't been to therapy, but should I go to therapy?
Yeah, you got something in there. Just wait till you get
one small joke from a mate, thousands of dollars in therapy later.
That was the best. Like at assembly, God, I fucking hated assemblies, and you had to sit there and listen to all the bullshit and all the crap, and like getting your mate to laugh at assembly like out loud and like getting into trouble, like shut up, and like the teacher's telling you to be quiet. That was like the best. Like when you can't laugh, it's sort of like, do you know what edging is?
Talk for the viewers that don't know, listeners that don't know.
I'm going to put our podcast under educational. So edging, as far as I know, it's like blue balling, right? Like if a chick like just gets you hard or you just get close but you stop, right? Isn't that edging?
I don't know.
I could be. I'm not going to Google that, but you can Google that if you want later. But that's the thing. It's like the anticipation without the release. And apparently, I don't know. It's better than the actual thing. I don't know, but I fucking miss that. How can we recreate that in our adult lives? Next staff meeting, next Microsoft fucking Teams meeting I have, I'm going to invite you in, but we've got to set it up. No, you call me so I can only hear you and you can just whisper penis every time. So the app update will be released next penis.
Next time you fly away for work, I will come and I'll just sit up the back when you're trying to run a training day.
I would love that.
Penis. Well, we're on a bit of a tangent. So what do you do, Al? Talk us through what you do.
What don't I do,
other than educational speaker?
Yeah, motivational speaker, right? Yes. I tell people to reboot their computers for a living. I work in IT, and basically our company outsources majority of our IT, and I just stay on the local office and just tell people to fucking plug in their monitor and check that it's plugged in, triple check that, are you sure it's plugged in? And then I go and I plug in the monitor and I get paid lots of money to do it.
Hang on. So you're the IT department for your multi-billion-dollar company.
Correct.
But they have outsourced that doesn't pay tax, and then they've also outsourced their IT.
Correct.
Just every day you go to work is like Russian roulette if I still have a desk?
No, because they like me. I'm the only person in this country that works in IT for them.
Do you reckon someone's just going to come across your role one day and be like, what is this?
What is
I thought we outsourced this.
systems coordinator?
Is that why it doesn't have IT in your signature? Because they'll know.
Exactly. But the thing back in the day, like I've been working in IT for so long that back in the day, people weren't very good with computers, especially like office workers or like, tradespersons. They just didn't use a computer that much. So I would teach them how to use emails and stuff. But if somebody asked me how to send an email like tomorrow, I'd be like, you right there, mate? You're okay? Like, it's so much easier now because people know everything. Well, 90% of it, but they still don't know how to reboot.
Yeah,
like that old cliche from the IT crowd. Have you turned it off and on again?
So it's like that, is it?
It literally is. Literally, figuratively.
Are you Moss or the other guy? What's his name?
Probably the other guy.
What's his name?
Chris O'Dowd.
I
forget his name.
Yeah, but it's going to annoy me now. Characters.
The fact checker
in the IT crowd. Yeah. What do you reckon our fact checker? So we got
it's not
Moss.
Yeah.
And Roy.
Roy, yeah. Yeah, I'm more like him. I need the automated. Like I literally need the automated voicemail thing, like because of reboot. I have probably 22 voicemails at the moment that I haven't checked that I really just don't want to get around to that. Because my voicemail, I have fixed it up a little bit, but it used to go like, "Hi, you've reached Alex Brandon at blah, blah, blah. If you would like to send me an email." See, I would make it as long as possible so they didn't leave a voicemail. Because I don't want to talk to you on the phone. It's 2021. We have email, we have Skype, we have Microsoft Teams, we have LinkedIn, we have everything. Call me.
Maybe we should say Zoom because they're kind of sponsoring us at the moment.
Indirectly. Please make this recording good.
They're about to kick us off here.
Yeah, like that's been talked about before, but it's like, how did Skype, like a global pandemic happens, and we have this video conferencing software for years, Skype, that everyone knows about. Like it's a verb. Like you Google stuff, you Skype someone, and now it's you Zoom someone. How did Zoom do it?
I think everyone is still confused whether Skype cost you money or not.
Really?
I think it's like, I don't know. Like I found it all right, but people are just like, no, Skype costs you money. I'm like, it only costs you money if you do this, this, and this. Like most of the time, you can just call or video someone for free.
Yeah, I remember sort of you could do stuff with Skype, like you could call proper numbers, like you could pay like credit, like prepaid credit. But anyway, thanks, Zoom.
It's amazing. Thanks, Zoom. Even Facebook stepped up and they got like video conferencing stuff in Messenger now that's kind of just there, which is pretty good. Thank you for sharing what it is you do.
What do you do, mate?
I just think it was the highlight of learning that your job is held together like a really fine string.
Yeah, I really hope my work doesn't listen to this. Thank you.
Thank you. Really good at my job though. Like no one else knows how to plug stuff in like I do.
That's it. Who else is going to do it?
What do I do? So I'm an online strength coach. And I do stuff face-to-face as well. It's pretty mad. So I spend a lot of time behind this camera or in the gym as well, which is pretty mad.
And how long have you been doing that for?
A couple of years now. Before that, I worked, a bit of an IT buff myself,
Really? Were you a programmer or software engineer?
Say that. Yeah. I was the one that plugged the copier in or sold the copier too.
You sold the copier?
Yeah.
So it's a bit more of a sales role, eh?
Yeah, I guess. It was very interesting. Like, fax was shit hot, but I was selling this stuff and I never faxed anyone in my life. I didn't know how to do it. I had to ask someone one day how to sell a fax after 2 years in the job. Like,
did you have to sell those fax things that like go onto a copier because people were still faxing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very expensive. They're like $1,000, and people are like, I need a fax. And I'm like, do you though? Like, this could save you $1,000. They're like, oh, you salesperson trying to rip me off. No, I'm trying to save you $1,000.
So what year did you
sending
start?
An email.
Yeah. What year did you start that?
I think it started 2014. I was there for a year.
Yeah.
And then I had a nasty injury, so I couldn't drive and sell as much anymore. So I went and worked at a steel company doing sales there. And then I come back to the printer company or document
Did they
management.
beg you to come back?
Look, I'd say beg. Yeah, they're the words I'd use. It took me out. It took them 3, actually. One, we went out to a pub one night. It was a surprise ambush for me to come back. And then we went to another pub with a few other of them to get me in. And then the third one, the bosses met me at a different pub to get me back. So kind of a big deal, you know.
And it was, didn't you go back again after that?
No, only the twice.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only there twice. Yeah. I went back once. And then, after that, I got sick of driving so much and selling something that was, I guess, not being used much anymore.
So didn't you do like document management systems?
Yeah, look, we tried.
Lighting.
I gave that a crack, but everything was already digital, so you didn't need to manage much, did you?
Yeah.
Look, I definitely think there was areas for it, but not where we were. So I decided to live my dream and do what I was good at. So I become a strength and nutrition coach, and never look back. It's been good.
Oh, I'm so jealous of you actually working for yourself. You know, you always hear like it's like the best thing ever. Even if you earn less money, like working for yourself, your own boss, you know, that sort of thing. Very jealous of you, mate, and proud of you. Very proud of you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Hey, look, it has its days because you got no one to tell you what to do when you're feeling lazy. But the beauty is you can be lazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, no one beats you up as much as yourself. Like a boss yells at you for being lazy. You're like, oh, don't you tell me what to do. You beat yourself up for being lazy. You're like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I guess when you care about it, you want it to do the best. So it makes a difference.
That's us.
Yes. So I actually wanted to say that I haven't actually talked on a microphone since my community radio days. And I actually community radio. It's where it's at, mate. 88.9 2FM. Shout out to Tamworth radio station. Yeah. So I feel like putting on, like I just automatically used to do a radio voice. Did you ever listen to me?
Yeah. You played me a song once.
Oh, nice.
I was sitting in my car at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night because I didn't have any other way of listening to you. Like, I know you could download a radio app or jump
really
online.
bad.
I could, back then. Like, so I just ran into the car and just tuned in instead. It seemed like the quickest way to do it. It was awfully cold, though, in my PJs. But
yeah. And so you would just like automatically do this radio voice because everybody does, because everyone has their radio voice. Like no DJ radio presenter talks like this, you know, 88.9 2FM, you're here with Al, and we'll be playing the 10 songs on this computer that aren't country music. Because it was literally a country music station, but they wanted to keep up with the youth. So they got us in to keep up with the youth. Yeah. Did I ever tell you one time we were playing, you know, that Daft Punk song Around the World? And it just goes, around the world, but it constantly does that. And it goes around the world, doesn't it? Yeah, it goes around the world. And we get a phone call, and I pick it up, and I'm like, oh, TFM. This is like off air while the song's playing in the background. You know, you could take calls. And I pick up the phone, and it goes, oh, it was just a voice. And it goes, is the CD player broken? And I go, no. And he goes, so what's this song? And I'm like, what? Like totally caught off guard. And he goes, why is this song going on and on? And I'm like, this is the song. What are you talking about? And he goes, oh, it sounds like rubbish. And he hung up. I thought, man, that voice sounded familiar. And it was the radio manager, like the person that ran everything, called me up to say this song was rubbish And then he thought the CD player was broken because it was going around and round and round and round. And I thought, you fucking dick. So after the song came on, I put the mics back on and go, and that was Daft Punk with Around the World. And you know what? I really like that song. Let's play it again. And I click and I played it again. I thought, so ridiculous. Imagine doing that. Like I'm running it up. Like he didn't say who it was. Like he didn't say, oh, look, it's, whatever his name was, Dave or whatever. I forget his name. And he goes, look, what's wrong with the song? He didn't like provide any feedback or it was just straight up, sounds like rubbish, But anyway.
Yeah. Also, why are you listening? Go home.
Yeah. It's also a Saturday night and we have a youth show like at 10 o'clock. Like, do you want to play some Lee Kernaghan? Like, what do you want me to put on?
Says a lot about the person, doesn't it?
Anyway, I miss community radio. I still listen to community radio up here. Actually, there's a station in Brisbane called 4ZZZ, which I really like. But the beauty about community radio is like it's really bad most of the time, which I like because the presenters they always come on. This is my impression of community radio. Ready? That was Bon Jovi with Living on a Prayer from the album blah, 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 from the year blah, blah, blah. The track before that was blah, blah, blah. The track after that was blah, blah, blah. The current time is 2:35 p.m., 6th of the 7th, 2021. The current air temperature is 21 degrees. Like they go on with so much detail. We were also told we had to say the weather every single break. Song break. So like if we play 2 or 3 songs, say the weather, got to tell them the time and say the weather. Yeah. And we had this screen up with all the weather on there. And we thought, well, that's the stupidest thing we ever said. So we'd overdo it. So we'd read the time. So we'd go, it's 2:36 and it's just gone 25 seconds past that minute. The current air temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. That's 49 degrees Fahrenheit, in case you're interested in that. The wind direction, it's actually east at the moment. Very interesting. Easterly, would just overdo it with bullshit. But I love community radio. Just for that.
Like someone on Saturday night at 11 o'clock just going, I wonder what the wind is.
Yeah.
Which way is it going?
Love, turn the radio on, quick. I would love to do community radio again just for that.
Because you're like Family Guy and it's just like, it's raining or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very bad. It's a very bad impression.
Yeah, maybe don't do that one too well.
Yeah, I'm winging it here.
How did we become friends? I want to hear you first because I think this isn't a big story. I want to hear what you have to say first.
I don't really know. We've been friends for so long. Like, I think it starts with our mothers in birthing class, doesn't it? So I think if we think right back to then.
Well, I thought our brothers were at preschool together.
Brothers were at preschool together. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah,
we both have older brothers. And they're similar age. There might be a year difference, isn't there? Yeah, ish. Yeah, but they still went to preschool and our mums became friends. And then they got pregnant around the same time again with us. Yeah. So then we were just like, we have photos of us as a baby. So I thought we were just, it's sort of weird. Like I talk to some people that haven't had long-term friends and I'm like, but I think of you as like just another part of my life. Like just my brother, my sister, Howie. It's like in that same sphere in my brain that it's like, it's just there. And then you talk to other people that haven't had long-term friends. I'm like, well, who do you send your penis to on Snapchat when you get drunk on the weekend? Like, what are you doing? Like, or you got like a couple of workmates, but like having that long-term best friend, like what are we in our late teens now? Sure. Early 20s. And we've just always been. We went to the same school, same preschool, same primary school, same high school.
Same kids club during school holidays.
Same everything.
Same everything. Yeah, I feel like when I burn my finger, I wonder if yours hurts too.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Howie's sense is tingling.
Yeah, same persons. I'm coming, Howie.
Get a vision in my head. But it's pretty much been like that. I mean, now that, I've moved away from Tamworth, which is where you live at the moment.
Tamworth is where all this happened, just for our listeners that are interested. Yeah.
And now I live in Brisbane, Vegas. But yeah, well, it has been harder to catch up, which is, I suppose, why we're doing this podcast in the first place, right?
Yeah.
It's come around the world, mate.
It's coming around the world. And again, look, I think, as I said, we do this podcast to try and catch up because I think we're all funny in high school. I think we did some really funny stuff, like the pregnancy skit to try and get out of class with the casual teacher. But shout out to Mr. Dodd, because I know he'll be listening.
If he's still
English
alive.
teacher.
No, but I think so too. But it's always like you always hit, like I've been a fan of podcasts for like since I've had my iPod, the big iPod classics, whatever. I don't know what they're called, iPod classics when they come out. But I've been listening to podcasts since. No, not the Nano. The big one with the wheel on it.
Oh yeah.
And it's like always that cliche, like a couple of guys have a couple of beers. Oh, we should fucking start a podcast, mate. We're good at talking, eh? But no, I think we can actually do it, mate.
Yeah. Everyone will care what we have to say.
That's it.
Our first subscriber will get a signed shirt with Linking Slinkies on it.
Yes, the Linking Slinkies. So I had to Google how to spell Slinkies. Apparently you can spell it with a Y.
Yeah, there's no big retail companies like Target and Big W and all these ones had it spelt differently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if they can get away with it, surely we can.
Okay, so we're IES.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? I've
already set up the Gmail account.
Yeah, it's too late now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Which is, you can send us an email at linkingslinkies@gmail.com. That's LINKINGSLINKIES@gmail.com. And our first email will get a nude from Howie. And your mum better not email us.
So how we became friends. Yeah, I think you're pretty well right. I think that's kind of it. But then, I guess let's go. What's your best memory of preschool with me?
Of preschool? I think I've drank and done so many drugs and bad things to my body that I can barely remember preschool. What I remember from preschool is I used to screw up the color red and green a lot, and my parents thought I was retarded and put me to a special teacher, or they thought I was colorblind or blind, but I could see the color red, but it just came out as green. Like, I swear, it's like a cross wire in my head. I don't do it anymore.
It's kind of important for when you get your license, I guess. Yeah.
But I do remember. Yeah. You mean I can't be a pilot? Traffic light. But I do remember you there. Like, I remember it had the little bikes out the back, and I just remember playing. But it's like comes back to that thing where you're just always, mum, dad, brother, sister, Howie. Like, it's just that part of my brain where you're just constantly there.
That's a bit
crazy. What about you?
I remember us drawing, because you're a much better drawer than I am. And I'm pretty sure mum and dad still have it.
For people just listening, Howie still draws stick figures, and my 7-year-old daughter can draw better than Howie.
Yeah. That's probably something we missed is, we're both dads. I have a 7-week-old at the time of this podcast, and you have 3 grown women.
They act like it.
I
have a 352-week-old, 252-week-old, and a 9-month-old.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're old. Yeah. Yeah, I think one of my memories is drawing my family, and I thought these pictures were shit hot. And I still to this day remember drawing them. Like I can remember the circle, the legs, the arms. Like I can remember where I was sitting, what I had for morning tea. I can remember who was next to me. Like I remember all this stuff. I have a really good memory of stuff like that. But just in my head, I'm like, these drawings are unreal. Like this could not look more like my parents and brother if I tried. And then just like years later, when I found them in an album, it just looks like a balloon with streamers. Like it's just a circle with just all these legs coming off them, and then just like balls for feet. And they could not look anything less like a person.
I think, sometimes when my daughters show, like when my middle daughter, she's about 4, and when she shows me a picture, like sometimes I'm thinking, does this look good in your head? Like, she's like, oh, it's a lion. And I'm like, interesting. That's a good one. We'll put that one in the drawer, sort of thing. But when you're a kid, you think it's a lion. It's your parents. Yeah. It looks good, but
it looks exactly like them. Yeah, I remember that, like right down to the detail. I thought I had my brother's DC shoes into it, his skate shoes. But if you just picture a jellyfish with rollerblades on, that's kind of what I draw.
Yeah.
And I'm just yeah.
What about
severe case of the wet brain?
So, do you remember me in preschool then?
Yeah. I remember we had that. We had this night where it was like an open night where everyone came. It was like some event or something, and we could bring our brothers and sisters and stuff, and we're all playing hide and go seek, and we were running around the back, and they could all, like, it was hide and go seek tag. So they found us and tagged us, and then we had to tag them, and they could jump the fence, but we couldn't. And we just were really annoyed that we couldn't jump the fence. We had to go all the way around.
Man, I miss games like that.
By the time we got all the way around, they just jumped the fence again.
Okay, so what's your favorite primary school memory together then? Because I know mine.
There's so many. Like we had to do the what was it, items we called them, or like the shows twice a year on a Friday we had to do.
Oh yeah.
Like excursions. There was icy poles and canteen. There was yummy drummies.
Yummy drummies.
Love a yummy drummy. Yummy drummy. It didn't feel like a yummy drummy is just literally crumb chicken, like a schnitzel in the.
But it wasn't like chicken breast. It was like soft, gooey chicken.
Yeah, there couldn't have been any more processing in this. Like one more level, and it would have been like.
Didn't we have a healthy canteen?
Yeah. There was.
I swear they
eating this yummy drummy was basically metho.
Yeah.
Just crumbed metho. That's how processed it was. It was refined. Favorite movie. There's too many.
Well, while you think, the one I'm going to talk about is we love South Park, of course. And to watch South Park, you know what? People listening don't know what my parents are like. They weren't super strict, but they weren't exactly going to let me watch South Park in primary school. So sneaking into the back TV to watch South Park on SBS at 9:00 was, was a treat. So anyway, the episode before was that one. I haven't even watched this episode probably for 20 years too. Isn't it where if you stick food up your ass, you crap out your mouth? I don't even know if that's quote but that's the basic line of the South Park episode. So anyway, I think we're doing craft or something fun in class because everyone was super loud. It must have been craft, or it must have been like, a sheet, filling out, and we're all laughing and having fun, and the classroom's going. We had
Miss in year 5.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I didn't remember that. And then it was you that said it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I said it at the table.
Yeah, Howie goes. Everyone was talking, classroom full of kids. Howie goes, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm assuming you were talking about something new. If you stick food up your ass, you crap out your mouth. And I laugh, haha, and I do that thing, where you repeat what the person just said.
Yeah.
Dead silence in the classroom. And I go, if you stick food up your ass, you crap out your mouth. And the teacher goes, Alex. And I had to write lines. I remember, that's right. Because when we got in trouble, we had to write out lines. And we didn't actually have to write out the line we said, but it was like, I will listen in class, blah, 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 blah. And I used to be so good at writing lines.
I'll not stick food up my ass.
I promise, teacher, I will not stick food on my ass. I'll put it in my mouth like a normal person.
I'll put it in my mouth and crap out my butt.
I remember writing lines all the time. You had to finish your lines before you had to go out to recess. But we were never naughty. We just talked too much.
Yeah, we were.
Not like we did anything bad. We just didn't listen, really.
Recited South Park in primary school.
Do you remember that? Do you remember how we learnt sign language?
Yes, and we would use sign language to try and get out of trouble.
Yes. So
they said us we talk too much.
Howie and I used to talk so much that we had to come up with another way to talk to each other from across the classroom. So I remember it was on the back of a phone book. Do you remember that?
Yeah. We
and
sat
it was
down
just
and
the
learned the phone
alphabet,
book.
like just A to Z of the hand movements of what to do. And we come up with a space because we're like, how can we tell? Do you remember the space?
The space. I still remember the whole alphabet and
so do I. Yeah.
Space. Yeah.
I do it with my daughter now. She's trying to learn it. And that's so awesome, that we did that, because I remember getting in trouble for talking. So we just learned sign language.
We just always found a way around it. And I think that's gone into our adult life. If someone tells us we can't do something, we always find a way to be able to do it. But I just love that we don't go to too much detail. Like, we could learn sign language, or we could just learn the alphabet. So even though we learned sign language, it still took us 40 minutes to say a sentence.
Because we had to just spell it out. Because they've got words for good morning, but we would be G-O-O space, and you'd be like,
and then you didn't get it at first. You're like, can you repeat it?
Yeah.
Oh, good morning. And then, Dill, shut up. Yeah, good morning could have just been one hand movement.
Literally. I think they literally just go like that.
Just do that. Yeah.
But we didn't have Google back then, so we literally used a phone book. That's showing how old we are. That they had phone book. Why they have phone book at school? I don't even know.
Yeah, and why is sign language on the back of the phone book? Like, are you going to do it on the phone? Like, just order a pizza. Like, beep, beep, beep. Hello, what can I get for you? And just this person. Hello, just like, I have sign language. It's just like, what? Why is it on the phone book?
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's because everyone had it. And people read it, unlike the Bible.
Yeah, what's the sign language on the back of
that? What else could it have been on there? Like newspaper. Like, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Like the comics and then sign language.
Yeah. Like, how else would you learned it back in the day if you weren't deaf? Like, no one was teaching that in normal classes unless you're deaf. So it worked out good.
Or you knew someone was deaf. Yeah, I guess so. Like, also shows a little bit about who we are. Like, we were using the phone book to do prank calls, and one day we're like, maybe we just read what else is in here.
What's at the back?
I'll tell you what, I know all the plumbers in town now. After reading the yellow pages. Just all these trades. How we got our name. I think this is where everyone's dying. If anyone's still listening, they're listening because they want to hear this.
How did we get the name? Linking Slinkies.
I think I should tell this story.
Oh, okay. You tell it first, and I'll tell the right version of it.
The rights. All right. So, if you haven't guessed, Alex is a little sensitive.
What did you just say?
So we had this fun run, right? And we were pumped for this fun run. We had to sell tickets and all this stuff. And if you got to a certain amount of tickets, you got to choose a prize. Now, we didn't do a lot of selling. We kind of just didn't do any of it. So we got to choose the smallest of prizes. So everyone else had these choices of TVs and, like laptop maybe back then, all this cool stuff. and we just had like erasers, pencils, and a Slinky. The Slinky was the best of the cheap product for not doing anything. All you had to do was do the fun run, which we walked anyway. Anyway, we walked this thing and we submitted our things where our parents just gave us money to put in the envelope to submit. So we raised something. So we got to get a prize. And the both of us just chose Slinkies. So anyway, we did the race. And then like 2 months later, our prizes finally turned up and they were Slinkies. And we've never been happier. We're playing with our Slinkies in science. It was the best time. Now my Slinky was fine. Alex played with his Slinky a little too hard and his Slinky got a little tangled. And me being the top bloke that I am was like, look, I reckon I could fix that Slinky for you. I could not stand to see Alex so upset. So I'm like, hey, I can probably fix that Slinky. Now the Slinky was broken, but it was still usable, right? Let's just be clear. I think I untangled that Slinky so it was just a straight piece of wire. And the Slinky was no longer a Slinky when I was trying to fix this Slinky. My heart was in the right place. Alex did not talk to me for weeks. Weeks. I even tried to give him a packet of chips out of my bag. I tried to give him my Slinky. And he was just, it was like my wife. It was completely unreasonable. It wasn't until I remember we played 10-pin weeks later at a birthday party, he started talking to me again. I've never been more upset. Right. You try and fix something.
It's my turn to tell my version.
Like, what's your version?
I think it's important to add that we were in high school, by the way. like we weren't 7. We were like 13, 14. I, like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
must have been year 7 or 8.
Yeah. Let's just blame it on hormones.
That's what
the body was going through changes. See what I mean? See what I mean? We're just on the same level. Get out of my head.
I remember. So it also, I remember looking at all the other kids that like the kids that could actually run fast and raised money and they raised like $200-300 and they got a remote control car and a this and a that and like I didn't even know what else, but I remember a remote control car. And we got, I thought some kids got one of those balls that you throw on the string and it comes back.
I did another year because I was
another year.
Yeah, I was a bit scarred.
Slinkies. And I'm pretty sure, was it in science class?
Yeah, we're in science. Mr. Drabs, shout out Mr. Drabs if you're listening. I know you will be.
Shout out Mr. Drabs, stop fingering kids. We're playing with our Slinkies in science class because we never did any work. And I slightly bent my Slinky. Slight bend to it. And Howie says, oh, give us a look, mate. Howie, I don't even know what you did to that thing. Like, it wasn't a straight Slinky when you're done. It was like a knot. It was just like...
I think we need to do a poll to see if I'm as shit of a bloke as you think I was, or if I was trying to do the right thing and made a mistake.
Mate, I had...
Are you Team Howie or Team Al?
I had one thing in my life at that point. That was that Slinky. And you ruined it. I don't even know why I got angry at it. Like, it's a fucking Slinky. But we must have been just teenage boys. And I must have just been a dickhead. And just been an overreacting dickhead and been like, fuck, what the fuck? And anyway. So now the ongoing joke is every birthday or Christmas that I give you a present, what comes in the present? A Slinky.
Slinky. It's a Slinky.
So it's sort of become the, I guess you could say, mascot of our friendship. Turned our biggest fight into our most longest, probably ongoing joke.
Yep. Yeah. Brought us together. There's no breaking us up.
No, we're like a Slinky. Pull it apart. Comes back.
We come back together. We come back together. We might be a little stretched, but we've come back together.
A little bit better.
I can fix that.
Still want to open a Slinky repair shop in the main street there. See how much business you can get.
Would they hire me? Everyone Slinky comes back broad broken. Payment up front though.
Can you imagine a Slinky repair shop like walking down the street? Oh yeah, Kmart, Target, Slinky repair shop. Next one. Like,
can that be our graphic for our logo? Slinky repair shop. It is. Oh shit! I think that's the pilot. That's our podcast.
Sounds good to me.
Rate it out of 10. What would you give it?
10. Couldn't have been better.
10. I reckon 10 too. I reckon we'll probably listen back to it and
cry.
Might be as funny as we think we are, or might not be as funny. How are we gonna deal with our first hate mail?
Delete.
It's either gonna delete, shift delete, or
yeah.
It's either gonna be like a certain teacher or like the whole Catholic community. It'll be one of them.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, look, thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on our Instagram that hasn't been created yet.
Maybe by the time it's coming out, it will be. But send us an email.
Send us an email. What is that email again?
linkingslinkies@gmail.com. Send us a story about your best friend or, a fight that happened between you.
Yeah, top that story. See what you can do. But remember, don't try and fix your mate Slinky. I guess it's the lesson out of all this. It's like, don't be a good person.
Don't be a good person.
Yeah. Could have been your car. Imagine if you broke your car down. This is like, nah, you're walking home, brother. That's cool. What's the weather?
It's 19 degrees Celsius and sunny.
Do you actually have the weather up?
Yeah, I actually do. Actually, Windows did the stupid update and it showed up on my toolbar.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, cool. No, you're just on Weather Zone all the time now.
Thanks for tuning in to the Howie and Al. Howie and Pal? Howie and Al.
Howie and Al.
Thanks for tuning in to the Howie and Al podcast. Yeah?
Yeah.